Kyra from KyraWilliamsFitness.com, and today I want to talk about the one thing that you absolutely must do if you want to lose weight and keep it off. So this is something that I have been chatting with some of my clients about recently, and I definitely believe is at the forefront of our culture at this time with weight loss drugs that are on the market these days. And I just think it's so important to look at this particular thing when it comes to losing weight, whether you are doing it just through exercise and diet, if you are doing it through taking some of these prescriptions, no matter what your mechanism of weight loss or fat loss is, if you aren't doing this, then you're doing yourself a huge disservice when it comes to keeping the weight off that you lose. So with that said, what is that one thing that we absolutely must do? It's working on your relationship with food. If you think about it, let's say someone just like writes you a meal plan or gives you some macros. They're like, all right, listen, you're going to eat 2,000 calories a day, 35% is going to come from protein, 35% is going to come from carbs, 30% is going to come from fat. Or if somebody says to you, okay, here's your meal plan every day for breakfast. I want you to eat 2 eggs, pair that with a half a cup of oatmeal, and then for your snack, I want you to eat some carrots and hummus and a hard-boiled egg, and then for lunch, I want you to have 4 ounces of chicken. I want you to have a spinach salad. You're going to use avocado and balsamic dressing, and then for dinner, I want you to have turkey, chicken, fish. I want you to pair that with some potatoes or some rice. I want you to have, a side of like whatever kind of vegetables, broccoli, and then you're going to cook all that in oil. It's like you can do those things and you will definitely lose fat. And even if you start lifting, you start working out, you train on a regular basis, you fall in love with the gym, all of those things go right. But if you don't focus on that relationship with food, then what happens when the diet phase kind of comes to an end? You get to a point where, maybe you don't feel like tracking your macros anymore. You get sick of the meal plan that was written for you. Even if you are in the gym on a regular basis, what are you eating when you're not in the, not in the gym? You can know all of the things in the world about food. You can understand exactly what protein is, exactly where it comes from, all of its best sources. You can know that information about carbs. You can know it about fat. You can know how to perfectly place together your protein and your carbs and throw in some fat and some fiber in there. And you know how to keep your blood sugar balanced and make fat loss occur. You can know all of that information, but if you don't have a stable and steady relationship with food, then it's going to be so much easier for you to have that fat come right back on. So I want to talk about 4 main different reasons that creating a healthy relationship with food is going to serve you and your goals. So for one, making nutrient-dense choices. Like, you feel good about making nutrient-dense choices, and you don't feel bad for making choices to eat foods that aren't so nutrient-dense. So we're letting go of that guilt. Not only, so this is one's kind of a twofold one, because we are looking to feel good about prioritizing the nutrient-dense stuff, but then we're also, not associating guilt with food. Not even if you eat a lot of it. It's like, okay, move on. So it's just that mindset of like, I want to respect this. I want to respect my body. I want to show my body respect. I want to nourish it. I know what my body needs. I know what's going to help it thrive. I know what's going to help it be the healthiest body possible. And I want to choose foods that make my body really healthy. I want to eat the rainbow. I want to make sure that I get lots of protein. I want to make sure that I hydrate really well. I want to make sure that I get enough fiber so that way that will support my digestive system, and I have a bowel movement every day so I can get rid of the toxins from my body that I don't want in there. So it's showing your body love and it's showing your body respect by giving it nutrient dense and nourishing foods. But then we're also letting go of that guilt of when you do want to have a slice of pizza, or when you do want to have some wine with your friends, or you go out to eat and you're like, you know what, I want the French fries. You get those things and you do it from a place of power and a place of, again, respect for yourself. You're like, you know what? Most of the time when I come here, I get a burger and I get a salad, but these fries here are really, really, really good. And I really don't get them very often. I'm going to have them. I'm going to stop when I'm full. I'm not going to gorge myself. This isn't something that it's a once in a lifetime treat. I've got to get as much in as I possibly can. That's not the case anymore. You're coming at this from an approach of it's that love and that's that respect for your body. So maybe you love and respect your body so much that you don't want to do the fries, but maybe you really, really, really love these fries. So you're like, I'm going to have some because it's about a balance. You see what I'm saying here? So the next point that I want to make today is when it comes to food and your relationship with food and your body is understanding that food is deeply tied with emotions and respecting that and knowing that sometimes, you know, you are going to gravitate towards the stuff that isn't nutrient dense because you have had a really bad day. You feel really stressed. You feel a lack of control in other facets of your life. Then there's the other side where you restrict yourself from having these things because you are really stressed, because you're really unhappy with certain aspects of your life. You don't feel like you have control in things. This is one that's like near to me and something that I've had to work on my own, is when I don't feel like I have control in other facets of my life, I can definitely control my food. And recognizing that exists, recognizing that you may do it, having the awareness that it is something that you may struggle with, and not just writing it off and saying, oh, it's fine. Looking at it and understanding where it comes from and being able to recognize that it's coming up before it actually happens. So then that way you can take pause and look at it and ask yourself if this is going to be the best decision for you in that moment, if that decision serves you. And if not, because it probably doesn't, then making a choice that is in alignment with your goals and going to be the best decision for you. So rather than, allowing yourself to go down that path of, okay, I've been really stressed out. I feel like I'm not getting my way on some things going on in my home life. And there are some things that I really want to say, but I can't when it comes to work. And you've just got a lot of built up frustration, rather than coming home and having wine at the end of every night. You can recognize and validate your own issues that you have going on and your own struggles, recognize them, validate them, and do something a little bit more constructive that isn't going to sabotage you from feeling your best and achieving the goals that you want and living the life that you truly want to live. So you create the awareness, then that allows you to stop yourself, and then from there you can make a better choice that actually aligns with the person that you want to be, rather than self-sabotaging and having more guilt and having more anxiety. You can stop, but you have to recognize that food and emotions are deeply, deeply, deeply tied together on so many different levels. Your emotions are going to impact your choices on the things that you eat, and then the things that you eat are going to impact your emotions as well, because there's, if you do choose to, stress eat, and you end up binging on a box of crackers or a bag of chips or a bottle of wine or a tub of ice cream, recognize that you are most likely going to, feel guilty afterwards, and you can then at that point stop. This is not rational. This is just my brain feeling bad. I don't have to feel guilty. I don't have to feel bad. I'm going to stop. I'm going to make a choice, a conscious choice, to feel something different. Now, should you go back and look at what precipitated what made those decisions? Absolutely. Because that's going to give you your future self the best chance to make a better decision that is aligned with your goals. But recognizing that this is just my brain's way of coping with the choice that I just made. So it's twofold. Your food choices impact your emotions also impact your food choices. So working on that, super important. The third thing is that this is kind of going back, it's a little overlap here, but eating a healthy and balanced diet is not only going to make you feel better physically, but it's also going to change your brain as well. I'm not going to dive too deeply into this, but there are certain foods that are really good for the brain. Carbs impact our cognitive function. When we go really low in carbs, it can make you kind of feel brain dead, especially if you're not used to it, because our brain actually does need carbohydrates to do its job. But there are amino acids in protein, and I've actually seen this in so like vegans. They are not getting all of their amino acids, and that can lend itself to depression, because there are specific amino acids that we eat that actually helps boost the serotonin in our body. When our gut flora, so serotonin, a lot of serotonin is actually created in the gut. And so not having a healthy microbiome, not having all of those like good germs in our stomach, can cause less serotonin to be created in the body. So again, that kind of lends itself a little bit more to that depression. Just not having proper digestion. Not having proper digestion, if you're not going to the bathroom every day, your body isn't as capable of removing the toxins from it. And so your body can reuptake those toxins over and over again. Used up hormones that need to go. Those can impact how you're feeling, like emotionally and mentally as well. So understanding, again, that kind of goes back to that respect and nourishment of our own body, recognizing that certain foods actually do have an impact on our cognitive ability, emotions, as well as emotion and just how we think. And how our brain works. It's all tied in together. So when we work on our relationship with food and we are making choices that better serve us, we are going to set ourselves up for success when it comes to our mindset. And then the last piece is social connections. So when we have, this one's a huge one, because this is how we interact with other people, and this is how we shape other people's lives, and how other people's lives shape ours. And let's say this is a big one. You're a mom, or you have someone who's younger who looks up to you. So mom is probably the best example here, but you've got a kid who's watching you all the time. And when you're like, oh, mom can't eat that brownie, her belly's going to get too big, then that child is going to take that, and it's imprinted. And so you're changing their relationship with food. And I've worked with, I love my mom, but my relationship with food, like, I remember things that I saw growing up, and I have worked with clients who have seen and heard their parents say things growing up, and I mean, it exists. It's not like we are ever going to not talk about food, but we want to make sure that we are talking about it in the most positive and positively impactful ways possible. Thinking about, if you're like, oh, I can't have that, or you might want to say something along the lines of, if having a brownie is not something that you want to choose for yourself right now because of a specific goal, you can just say like, oh, no thank you, I would not like that right now. I know the Girl Scouts were just out and about, and so I remember seeing a meme, I even shared a meme that said, don't tell a young lady who's selling Girl Scout cookies, like, oh, I can't have those, I'm on a diet, because then she's going to think, what's a diet? Should I go on a diet? Just say, no, thank you. You don't have to give your reason. Or, you can always, like, I think it's so important to, like, show your kids, like, this is how you eat the rainbow. This, we eat cabbage here because cabbage has a lot of fiber, and this is what fiber does. Or, we eat tomatoes because tomatoes have a lot of vitamin C, and that supports your immune system. And sharing that kind of information can be really impactful in a very positive way for, whoever it is that's listening. So there's that, but then, if you're going to have friends who want to go out to eat with you, and, you might make them feel a certain way about their food choices. How many times have one of your friends made you, or your significant other made you feel a certain kind of way about your eating choices? Well, the choices that you make, especially if you talk about them and highlight them, then it's going to make a difference in other people's lives too. And so don't you want that to be positive and to be helpful? And then, actually going out and enjoying those times with the people that mean a lot in your life. If you're always afraid to eat, if you're scared of food, if you're scared of, like, I don't want to eat canola oil either, but if you're so afraid that you're going to consume something that was cooked in a seed oil, then you are going to be missing out on things in life. I mean, granted, now if somebody like has celiac disease and it's like, hey, like, eating this is like, I'm actually like allergic to this actually physically makes me ill, that's a whole different thing. And then at that point, it's just like, you can still go out to eat. You just have to, ask ahead of time to like make sure that you can avoid those foods. But if you are keeping yourself at home because you can't track your macros perfectly when you go out to eat, or you might encounter gluten, or you might be tempted by having some cheesecake at the end of the night, then you're keeping yourself at home and you're keeping yourself from having really great experiences in life. And I just think that that's sad. There's got to be a balance. So these are things that, I'm recording this for a reason. I'm going to send this out to my clients. I want you to hear it. I want my clients to hear it. This is what we work on together. Like, yeah, I love teaching my clients what's in protein and where to find protein and the best sources and how to get, 125 grams a day. I love teaching my clients how to do that. And I love helping my clients, lose body fat. I love helping my clients train regularly and build muscle and create these wonderful bodies that they are so proud of. But I don't skip over this. I don't skip over this with my clients because it will only hurt them in the end. So if you want to lose fat, you want to build muscle, you want to create a banging physique, I got you. But we're going to talk about this stuff too. So if you want to do all of those things, lose the weight, keep it off forever, then I'm your girl. There are training opportunities with me, and you can find out about those at KyraWilliamsFitness.com. Otherwise, send me a message and we can chat about how we can work together and how I can help you. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.